Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I caught my girlfriend bragging to her friends at a gathering. He ought to count himself fortunate I haven't ended things with him. He's the most ordinary-looking guy I've ever dated. I've been with far superior options. I grinned, snatched my coat, and slipped out quietly. A fortnight later, she attempted a comeback only to discover she'd been swapped out. You know that sensation when you're in a silent space and you pick up on a faint, sharp whine that nobody else appears to register? That's been my existence for the last 12 months. A steady undercurrent of belittlement that I convinced myself was merely ambient static. Last evening, the static escalated into a roaring blast, and I resolved to silence it once and for all. My name is Alex. I run a premium landscaping firm. I craft and construct exterior environments for folks with more cash than flair. I'm skilled at it. I transform barren, unsightly plots of earth into elegant, organized havens. I'm a creator. I'm rational. I avoid mind games. My girlfriend Jenna was meant to be my ally in constructing a future. We'd been a couple for 2 years. We resided in my home, a property I purchased and refurbished well before encountering her. We were supposed to be a unit, or so I believed was the agreement we'd entered. I'm not ostentatious. I skip luxury labels or flashy vehicles. My funds fuel my enterprise, my portfolios, and the existence I was shaping. I'm dependable. I'm consistent. And as I learned last night, I'm also the most unappealing partner she's ever had. The epiphany struck at a soiree. It was thrown by one of her pals, a lady wed to a tech tycoon who now viewed orchestrating connections as her primary occupation. The event drew a crowd Jenna yearned to infiltrate. Guys with manicured palms and pricey timepieces. Ladies who seemed untouched by carbohydrates. I sensed like an alien breed. I was making an effort, circulating, discussing market trends, feigning interest in someone's latest yacht. After roughly an hour, I craved fresh air. I ventured onto the rear deck, which, coincidentally, was a layout I'd engineered for the hosts the prior year. The glass slider was cracked open, and I could detect the hum of the festivities within. Then my name surfaced. It was Jenna's tone, trailed by her companion's chuckles. I halted in place. I'm dead serious, Jenna declared, her words laced with vino and scorn. He's a solid fellow and reliable, clearly. But observe him. He's so average. He ought to feel fortunate I haven't ditched him. Truthfully, he's the most unappealing guy I've ever dated. I've been with far superior. One of her pals added, but he covers the expenses, doesn't he? You've secured a sweet arrangement. For the moment, Jenna answered, and they all giggled once more. The whine in my ears ceased. Replacing it was a deep, utter quiet, the sort of hush you encounter far below the surface. All the minor jabs over the past 2 years abruptly clicked into place. The quips about my field boots, the hints that I ought to upgrade my wardrobe, the manner she'd present me as my boyfriend Alex, omitting my profession. It wasn't mere static. It was a blatant indication I'd opted to disregard. I didn't burst in. I didn't create a spectacle. My brain, accustomed to plotting intricate, tiered outdoor designs, promptly began sketching a different venture. Teardown. I inhaled deeply, re-entered, and locked eyes with her across the space. She was still chuckling with her group. I offered a brief, strained grin. I retrieved my coat from a chair's back, gave her a quick 2-finger salute, and exited through the main entrance. My phone vibrated before I hit my pickup. It was her message. Where are you headed? Don't just abandon me here. I ignored it. I drove residents, and throughout the journey, my strategy crystallized, stratum by stratum, akin to geological layers. She viewed me as average. She saw me as merely a dependable cushion. I was set to demonstrate just how precarious her reality was about to turn. She believed she'd dated superior. I was prepared to present her replacement. It appears many of you grasp that vengeance is a meal best chilled, and currently my cooler is brimming. Upon arriving home that night, I squandered no time. My thoughts were sharp, my intent unwavering. I swept through the residence with the precision of a wrecking team. Every belonging of hers, apparel, footwear, cosmetics, the snapshots of us she'd mounted, I boxed up. I arranged them tidily in the storage area. Next, I swapped out every lock. Then, I addressed the money matters. We shared an account for domestic costs, which I mostly supplied. I accessed it, tallied her precise inputs over the prior half year, a comically minor figure, and shifted that amount to her individual account. Then, I shut the shared one for good. The additional card I'd provided for crises was revoked shortly after. By dawn's early hours, all signs of her presence in my home vanished, save for the cartons in the garage. I'd precisely excised her from my world. The following day, the true effort commenced. This wasn't solely about evicting her. It was about dismantling the core of her claims. It was about proving to her, and her whole superficial clique, what genuine worth entails. There's a lady in my town called Isabella. She's somewhat of a regional star, a style influencer with a massive online audience. She's stunning, accomplished, and manages her empire with keen acumen. Jenna was fixated on her. She mimicked her fashion, frequented the eateries Isabella endorsed, and raved about her endlessly. To Jenna, Isabella embodied all she aspired to, admired, coveted, and innately chic. Here's the twist. I was acquainted with Isabella. My firm held the ongoing contract for the upscale condo where she resided. We'd crafted and upheld the structure's rooftop greenery and shared zones. I'd conferred with her directly several times on the initiative. We shared a solid work rapport. She valued my craftsmanship, and I admired her entrepreneurial savvy. I phoned her that morning. I mentioned I had an odd professional pitch. I outlined that I was terminating a toxic partnership and required her aid for a distinctive endeavor. I proposed to fully overhaul and upgrade her private 2,000 square foot rooftop deck, a job that would readily exceed $50,000, entirely gratis. I'd employ top-tier resources, the rarest flora, the works. It'd be a masterpiece. In exchange, I sought one favor from her. For 7 days, she had to feign being my new partner online. She paused briefly, and I feared I'd overstepped. Then she chuckled. "Allow me to clarify," she stated. "You wish to compensate me with a $50,000 deck to assist in retaliating against your former girlfriend? Alex, that's the most inventive pitch I've received. I'm on board." The scheme was activated. Meanwhile, Jenna was unraveling. After I skipped her initial furious texts, she appeared at the house the next day. Her key failed. She pounded on the door for 10 minutes before retreating. Then arrived the emails, the voice messages, the notes via acquaintances. They mirrored one another. Fury blended with bewilderment. She couldn't fathom the events. She'd been ousted from her cozy niche, and she couldn't comprehend the reason. Following a week of this, Isabella executed her opening play. She shared an image on her Instagram story. It was a detailed shot of an exquisite and pricey bloom. The tagline was straightforward: "He has refined preferences." Jenna likely viewed it. Her circle certainly did. The inquiries I began receiving from intermediaries grew frantic. They probed what was occurring, noted Jenna was falling apart. 2 days on, Isabella shared again. This occasion featured her and me. We were on her deck, reviewing architectural plans. We stood near, sharing a laugh over something. It was impeccably arranged. We appeared as a content, thriving pair. The tagline stated, "Plotting something magnificent with the expert himself." Thrilled for this partnership. The response was swift. Isabella's fans adored it. They remarked on what a great-looking duo we formed. But the true uproar unfolded in Jenna's sphere. A shared contact informed me Jenna suffered a total breakdown. She couldn't grasp how I, the average unappealing man she tolerated, was now paired with Isabella, the icon she worshipped. Her whole perspective was glitching. Her pals, those who'd snickered at her harsh words, were now inundating her with queries. They weren't comforting. They were envious and puzzled. The guy they'd brushed off as a dull supporter was now openly tied to a top-tier influencer. Jenna attempted a counter. She began claiming I'd been unfaithful with Isabella for months. But the narrative didn't hold. I had a standing as a faithful, direct individual, and Isabella was a cherished local personality. Nobody bought it. The concluding masterstroke of this stage occurred yesterday. Jenna, frantic and with no alternatives, had been crashing on a couch of one of the party attendees. That attendee, noting the social dynamics shifting, had tired of the turmoil. She evicted Jenna. Jenna was now genuinely without a home. She lacked funds, a residence, and her allies had deserted her. She mistook my dependability for vulnerability. She was soon to discover it's the root of my strength. She deemed me the most unappealing man she dated. She was set to experience being the least wanted person present. Update 2. 2 weeks have passed since I departed the gathering and my former existence. The teardown is finished. Now, I'm in the gratifying phase of observing the debris clear and assessing what's left amid the ruins. After Jenna was expelled from her pal's spot, she resorted to her final option. She approached me. She must have lingered in her vehicle nearby because she arrived at my entrance as I returned from the job. She'd been weeping. Her cosmetics were smeared. The self-assured, haughty lady who'd belittled me at that event had vanished. Standing there was a frantic, shattered individual. It stirred nothing in me. I experienced only a chilled sense of closure. "Alex, we must converse," she uttered, her tone quivering. "There's no discussion needed, Jenna," I responded, remaining in the threshold. "Please," she pleaded. I erred terribly. I was merely posturing for my friends. I didn't intend it. "I care for you." "No, you didn't," I stated, my voice steady. "You didn't err. You disclosed a reality. You expressed precisely your sentiments. I'm merely thankful I overheard at last." She sobbed intensifies. "But what of us? What of all we constructed?" "We constructed nothing," I said. "I forged a life and you inhabited it. There's a distinction." That's when another vehicle entered my drive. It was Isabella. She wasn't scripted for this encounter, but her arrival was impeccable. She emerged looking flawless and approached the steps. She beamed at me, then cast Jenna a quick, belittling look. "Alex, I've been examining the ultimate plans for the deck," she mentioned, displaying her device. "They're breathtaking. You're brilliant." She then eyed Jenna, who gazed at her with a blend of resentment and wonder. "Oh, pardon me," Isabella remarked, her tone laced with insincere courtesy. "Are we disturbing?" Jenna remained mute. The lady she revered was on my steps, commending me, viewing her as if she were residue on her soul. Jenna was departing, I noted. I faced Jenna. "Your belongings are in the storage. I recommend summoning aid to retrieve them. You're barred from this property." She glanced from me to Isabella and back. Her remaining defiance faded. She nodded, pivoted, and trudged to her vehicle, a utterly vanquished figure. The repercussions for her and her group have been rapid and severe. The authentic account of events, the true version, has circulated rapidly through their network. That I eavesdropped on her, departed silently, and was now linked to Isabella has cast me as resolute and influential, and her as an idiot. Her companions, those who'd laughed at her barbs, have all withdrawn. Their societal position matters to them, and linking with Jenna has turned poisonous. They've all removed her from social platforms and been informing others they were appalled by her statements. They sacrificed her to protect themselves. Jenna now dwells with her folks in a community 2 hours distant. She has no employment, no companions, no future. The superior men from her history are absent. They were drawn to her assurance and status, both now eradicated. The deck initiative at Isabella's complex is progressing. My team is excelling, and Isabella has been uploading regular progress to her audience. My firm has been inundated with fresh contracts. The endeavor has proven the finest promotion I've executed. Isabella and I have developed a strong friendship. She's intelligent, humorous, and truly honorable. No sparks, but profound shared admiration. She's mentioned receiving numerous notes from women recounting their experiences with unappreciative partners. Our modest retaliation effort has, oddly, evolved into motivation. I didn't aim to ruin Jenna's existence. I simply aimed to forge mine, excluding her. That her realm disintegrated as a byproduct stems from her deeds. She erected her world on deception and disdain. I merely removed the key support. She labeled me the most unappealing man she dated. She's now absorbing a tough truth. Integrity is vastly more appealing than a striking visage, and resolve is worthier than wealth. 6 months have elapsed since I exited that soiree. The concluding elements of this tale have aligned, and the resolution is fuller than I envisioned. My existence has been reconstructed, sturdier and superior to prior. Hers has been irrevocably changed. The deck I created for Isabella turned into a regional highlight. It graced a design publication, and my enterprise has expanded dramatically. I've added 2 fresh teams and maintain a backlog spanning a year. The triumph is remarkable, but not the pinnacle of fulfillment in this narrative. Post the porch showdown, Jenna vanished from my radar. I received no word from or regarding her for months. The quiet was a blessing. I resumed courting warily initially. I encountered a physician named Qley, who's sharp, compassionate, and regards me as if I'm the sole man alive. She knows the full Jenna saga and deems it the most resolute and admirable act she's known. We're crafting something authentic, rooted in reciprocal esteem. The closing on Jenna arrived from an unforeseen party. Her mother. She rang about a month back. She wasn't phoning to scold or defend her child. She was apologizing. She explained Jenna had bottomed out. Residing at home, jobless and friendless, she'd been compelled to face her true self. Her mother said the episode served as a harsh yet vital alert. She shared that Jenna was in counseling, seeking to comprehend her overemphasis on others' shallow views. Her mother then revealed the call's true purpose. Jenna had amassed substantial debt on a card her parents now owed. She'd sustained a lifestyle exceeding her means for years, with my reliability the sole buoy. Her mother inquired if I'd consider assisting, for past sentiments. I was courteous but resolute. I'm regretful for your plight, I conveyed, but Jenna's decisions aren't my burden. I've sealed that era. That instant confirmed my liberation. The final tie had been severed. Her issues ceased being mine to resolve. The vengeance wasn't truly about Isabella. She was merely an accelerant, a striking and potent instrument. The genuine payback lay in the aftermath. It resided in the quiet, in my absolute refusal to partake in her chaos. I didn't shout. I didn't debate. I didn't battle. I simply withdrew. I turned ethereal. And in my void, her entire structure, sustained by my involvement, imploded from its frailty. She mistook my worth for reliability and finances. She overlooked that my real merit lay in respect, fidelity, and affection. She undervalued them, so I withdrew them. She dubbed me ordinary and unappealing. I countered by illustrating that a man of depth and integrity surpasses any superficial figures she coveted. She's been supplanted, but not merely by another lady. She's been ousted by my serenity. She's been displaced by my dignity. She's been replaced by an existence that's genuinely and wholly mine. And nothing rivals that in appeal.